Hey drummers, I'm Jim Linsner along with Danusha Beats on video and editing, and today's groove is inspired by none other than the great Steve Gadd. Gadd came up with some burnin' Mozambique patterns that were based on what a timbale player plays in a Latin band. What we're going to do today is we're going to take his sticking and we're going to turn it into a really slick halftime groove. Let's get started. The first step is playing the right hand pattern on the hi-hat. It sounds like this. 1 and 2 E, A3 E and 4 E, A1 and 2 E, A3 E and 4 E, A1. Next, we're going to fill in all the missing 16th notes with the left hand on the snare drum. And all these notes are going to be played as ghost notes. Teeny tiny strokes, like 1 inch off the drum. Play the snare as quietly as you possibly can. Here's what that sounds like. Next, we're going to put the bass drum on the 1, and we're going to accent the left hand note that comes on beat 3, and that's going to complete the groove. Alright, so that's the Steve Gadd Halftime Mozambique. But the fun part is coming up with your own variations. So let's start with the bass drum. It's really not too difficult to play a bass drum in unison with any one of the right hand notes in this pattern. So I'm going to give you a variation that has the bass drum on the 1, on the right hand note that comes right before the snare backbeat, and on the very last 16th note. So that's just one possibility out of like 50, okay? Someday when you have the time, write down this beat on a sheet of paper and put a bass drum on all the right hand notes. And then just, you don't necessarily want to play all the bass drum notes, but if you play the first one and the third one, see what that sounds like. Then the first one and the fourth one, or the first and second and fourth, and just mess around with it and, see what you come up with. I think you'll discover some really great sounding patterns. Another possibility for variations, of course, is the hi-hat openings. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the groove again, and I'm going to put a hi-hat opening right before the backbeat. Another really cool hi-hat trick is to play 2 30-second notes before the backbeat, okay? And the way we're going to do that is we're going to play the first 30-second note with the foot, then the next one with the right hand on the hi-hat, and then you're going to hit the backbeat on the snare. Now let's try that same rhythm, but this time, instead of playing the left foot, let's play the bass drum, and then the floor tom, and then the snare drum. Check this out. Another great thing about this groove is that without changing the sticking at all, you can move your right hand to the toms and you have an instant drum fill. Check it out. All right, so that's the Steve Gadd Halftime Mozambique. And oh my gosh, if you haven't checked out Steve Gadd playing the Mozambique, you need to go to YouTube right now and type that in, because he is amazing and he created so many cool things. This recording we're listening to is by the Greg Meckes Band, and it's a song called Yard Woman, in which I played a very similar groove. I'm Jim Linsner, and I teach private drum lessons, and this is where I teach, in my newly renovated drum studio. So please, if you're interested, contact me at drumlessonsbuffalo.com. Thanks a lot for watching.